everyone, welcome to Table Talk. This is Bobbi. Grab your coffee and come have a chat with me. Today we're talking about becoming a prototype artist. I get asked this question a lot, so I wanted to answer some basic questions for you guys on what sculptors and producers are looking for. To start off with, I'm going to explain what a prototype is. When a sculpt is turned into vinyl, the very first samples that are sent to the sculptor or producer to look over and approve are the prototypes. These are the kits that are painted and showcased on dealer websites around the world. This is done prior to the kit's release to help collectors visualize the kit's potential and what it looks like painted. Now, what are sculptors and producers looking for in a prototype artist? Well, obviously, excelling in painting and hair rooting is one of the main things, having proficiency and high-level skills. Also being very proficient in photography, as the photos are what showcase the kit. An understanding in realism of skin tones and hair patterns, things like that. Also having good time management skills, as deadlines are a really important part of prototyping. Typically, I'd say artists get anywhere from 3 to 5 weeks to complete prototypes on average. And then, of course, the ability to market and communicate and network that kit for the sculptor or producer to get it out there on as many platforms as possible and share it even beyond when the pre-order opens and not just sharing it one time and moving on. Next, you're going to want to build your portfolio. Practice, showcase your best work, make sure you're taking high quality, well-lit photos, work on different types of dolls, different skin tones, ethnicities, styles, poses. Make sure you're never using filters, as that's a big no-no in the industry. And most of all, share. Having your work seen is the best way to get a prototype. Be sure you're sharing on all the platforms you have and sharing often. And how do they find you? That's a question I get asked a lot. Sharing. I will reiterate that over and over again, because that is how I find most of the artists that I offer prototypes to. Attend expos if you can as a vendor. I have walked around expos and found prototype artists based on the work I see displayed on their tables. At that point, I can go look on their page and see how well their photography skills are. And if both align, there you go. You've got yourself a prototype artist. Remember to network with other artists and collectors. One of the big ones is look for prototype opportunities. They're posted online frequently from different companies. I know myself at Reborn, I will make a big bold post that I'm looking for new prototype artists, maybe someone that's never done a prototype before, and then give them an opportunity to display a few pictures of their best work. And I choose people based on that. Another big thing, stay professional. It's very important that your personal and professional selves are kept a little bit separate. Of course, we have freedom of speech online, and that's fine, but just know that if you're caught up in a lot of drama or controversy, a lot of times those kind of people will be overlooked, because no company or sculptor wants any type of controversy or drama associated with their sculpts or their business. So I recommend having a separate business page where you can showcase your work exclusively, and then have a personal page maybe that's separate. That's just a suggestion, of course. And lastly, on this point, obviously not being involved with counterfeits, replicas, whatever word you want to use. You don't want to be involved with that side of the industry, because that's a quick no to a prototype ever. Now, here are some common mistakes to avoid. Taking on too many kits. If you by chance are offered a prototype, but you are backed up on custom orders or something like that, it's okay to say no. If your work is good, another prototype opportunity will come around. You definitely don't want to overwhelm yourself with too many kits and then missing a deadline. Make sure that the photos you post of your work are good quality photos, because that's kind of, as people are scrolling through the online social medias, that's what they're looking for. Make sure to ask questions. If you are offered a prototype, don't be afraid to ask questions to make sure you fully understand what's expected of you as a prototype artist. It can be both very exciting and stressful doing a prototype, but in the end, it's a very fun thing, and I know it's a big goal for a lot of artists. A little tip for you is paint every baby as if it were a prototype, because if you're displaying every piece of work as a prototype, you're going to catch someone's eye at some point. Don't be afraid to invest in yourself, in classes, in, nice props and backgrounds, things that are really going to make you stand out and improve your skills. In-person classes at the doll shows are an amazing way to gain new skills and learn from some of the top artists in the industry. So remember to share. That's the biggest thing. Be professional. I would also discourage reaching out and asking for prototypes, because that puts the sculptor or producer in a position to spend way too much time having to go through the photos of everyone that could possibly reach out asking. But also it's an uncomfortable feeling for them, because now you are having to become the judge of someone else's work while they sit and tap their fingers and wait for an answer. And of course, you don't want to hurt anyone's feelings, because some people maybe are amazing artists, but just not quite at that point where the sculptor is ready to give them a prototype, and it might come off offensively to them. So I'd say let them reach out to you, look for those opportunities, and that way you don't put them in a position of being uncomfortable or having to judge someone else's work when they might have a vision for that particular sculpt and already have artists in mind and not want to have to hurt anyone's feelings. In closing, just have fun. Art without passion becomes a job, a chore, something that we don't love. And we don't do our best work when we're under stress or pressure. That's why a lot of people don't do customs. But just have fun doing what you do, and you will be recognized as long as you are sharing, being a part of the community in a positive way, and building your skills. Good luck, everyone. And don't forget to look out for those prototype opportunities online. Take classes, build your skills, invest in yourself. You deserve it. Thanks for joining me in this episode of Table Talk, everyone. We'll see you next time.